We are now in the original library. I love this room. I'll show you my mother's portrait. That's Anna Willis. The artwork that you're going to be seeing in this room, it's all from John Dunsmore. He's a family friend of ours. And then that is my father, Adam Wagnalls. Oh, and this tells you a little bit more about my father. When my mother and my father married, my father took my mother's last name, Willis, and made it his middle name. Underneath my father's portrait is something that I wrote. It's in my book, Rosebush of a Thousand Years. And it reads, "Dreams long dwelt on amount of prayers, and prayers wrought in faith come true." That's in my handwriting. I'll see if the book is in. I forgot to check if it is. Yep. So this is one of my books, The Palace of Danger. There are 4 paintings in this book. They're oil paintings, and they're those up there. So again, these are done by John Dunsmore, family friend. I'll tell you a little bit about how this library came to be then. So my mother always wanted to do something special for this town. I didn't know what it was. She had actually passed away in 1914. I married in 1920, Richard Jones, and we had moved to Long Island, Do-Re-Mi Manor. And while we were there, I realized he could build. Richard Jones was a steel magnate. He grew up in Pittsburgh. He also taught at Yale University. So when I realized he could build, it almost all came to me almost at once. We're going to build this library. I do not mind telling you, my New York friends thought I had lost my mind. All that for 300 people, what will they do with it? To which I replied, even if there were only 3 people in Lycopolis, I would still build this library, for it's to honor my mother and my father. My family never really did anything where we just gave money and that was that. My husband, Richard Jones, he was the general contractor. He spent a lot of time here, of course, then. That stone quarry that I had mentioned earlier, that was across the way, it had actually closed because concrete was all the rage. Nobody wanted stone, that was old. But when I came here, when I saw that the stone quarry had closed, I actually bought the stone quarry, I hired everybody back, and that's who built this library. I think you can almost feel the love when you come in, how special this place was. It was built by the townspeople for the town. So we start building. We met with the architect for the building was Ray Sims. I had asked my friend Ida Edwards. We did a lot of traveling together. She lived here in Columbus. I asked her to find an architect who really hadn't had a start yet. I wanted to give somebody their first big project, and that was Ray Sims. When we first met with him, Richard and me, we sat down. Ray Sims was thinking the kind of architecture that would make sense here in this town was either colonial or Georgian. But I said right away, no, I want Tudor-Gothic. The reason being, when my mother and I were in Berlin, Germany, that's the architecture that we enjoyed when we were there. So I not only wanted to honor my parents, I also wanted to tell our family's story. One of the first times I was here, they were actually chopping down trees. And the employees came running over to me and they said, "Mabel, what are we gonna do? There are these 4 baby owls in this tree that we cut down." And I told them, "Don't you worry, we'll remember them." And that's what those 4 owls are about. Under each owl then, there is a shield. The first shield over here has the eagle, that's patriotism. These are things that were important to my family. Walking over here, you see the children and the books, the teacher. That Tells you how important education was to our family. And then over here you've got the Star of David, the Alpha and the Omega sign. That's Christianity and Judaism. And then over here you have the bees and the anvil. It's hard work industry. You could almost say those were the 4 pillars for my family. And then on the windows over here, they told the story also of my family. We had the printing press, my father's company. My mother and my father were actually born in log cabins, so we have a log cabin. The lamp of learning, and then we have the presidential seal for patriotism. And then the W, of course, is for both Wagnalls and Willis, my mother's last name, and my father's middle name. We also have, these buses have been here from the very beginning too, from the time we first opened. And some of them, of course, are recognized. Benjamin Franklin, William Shakespeare, George Washington, and then way up above is Dante. And over by the window is my father, Adam Wagnalls.